You have entered the Chronic's rabbit hole, and this is story time with ETC. We have a featured guest called Carlos here with the band Persefone, and this is episode number 6, y'all. So thank you so much for being here. And you did elaborate how we met. We did the Living Water song. You then commented on our reaction there, and then I reached out to you to see if you wanted to do an interview. You said yes. You were touring in the month of May.
Yes.
And then after June, we had a little bit of let's find out a time that works because we have to get a babysitter. Our oldest son is babysitting right now as we speak. And so we're all good. We finally made it here. So like you said, we've had an awesome conversation already, and we're definitely looking forward to diving into your history.
Great. Thank you very much for having me. It's great to be here, and I can't wait for those questions.
Well, first, let's start with a little bit of your history. Andorra was a place that you and I never heard about actually before. So you definitely did put Andorra on the map metal-wise and just geographically for us. It's sandwiched between France and Spain, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
And is it actually a principality opposed to a country?
Yes, it's actually a country. It's called Principality of Andorra, but it's actually a country like it's France or Canada or Spain.
Okay.
And it's treated like that. We are not in the European Union. We're not part of that. But because it's a co-principality, we have a lot of relationship with Spain and France, like politically as well. So
Right.
yeah, we are like it's very small. So we are not like
Yeah.
a typical country. It's a kind of a village. But it's good to live here, definitely.
Wow. And we found out some things like you guys don't have an airport. So like, do you have to go somewhere to fly and all that? And like, how does all that work with being in the tour scene? That must, do you have to go to like Barcelona or something to fly?
Yes, we have two options all the time. Like there's no scene here in the country, so we cannot play here. There's no public
Really?
Oh, okay.
or places to play, venues.
Right.
So it's been like I think 7 years since the last time we played in Andorra or something like that.
No
Yes.
way. Wow.
Wow. Wow.
So every show we play is international. So
Right.
it's very complicated to get everywhere. Usually we go or to Barcelona and then we fly from there, or we go to Toulouse, which is equivalent in France. So it all depends
Okay.
on the prices, but we can reach in both places. And the only way you can come to Andorra is by car or bus. There's no train, there's no airport,
Wow.
nothing
No
like that.
train either.
No. Helicopter is the only
Helicopter.
because it's pretty high,
Okay.
within the mountains, which there's no space for us to have an airport or something like that.
Wow, that's very interesting. And since you said you have to do so much international travel, I've noticed that you've actually come to Canada a bunch. And that's
Yeah.
really cool for us because, as you know, we're from Calgary ourselves. And we just found out that you're actually coming here in November 1st.
Yes, that's the plan.
Yes.
That's the
So
plan.
that's great. Is that for your album that just came out in 2022?
Mhm. Yeah, we are promoting still Metanoia, which was the latest album we did, and the first one with Napalm Records. And
Oh,
then,
wow.
yeah, it was very nice to finally be working with a major record label within the metal scene.
Congratulations to
And
that.
thank you so much. It's been a long time, but
Yeah.
we are finally able to be with one of those. And yeah, we did this tour in Europe. We promoted first with tour in Europe with Obscura, which is this technical death metal band from Germany. We did that tour in Europe. Then after we did this Neo Obliviscaris Persephone tour in Europe as well in May. And it was
Wow.
beautiful.
Okay.
And
Right
then
on.
we're heading to US and Canada in November with again Neo Obliviscaris and Beyond Creation. And I think will be a kick-ass tour. So yeah.
Well, we're definitely going to go try to get some tickets to that right away. And we're so excited to find out you were coming to Canada because we always are trying to bring everyone over here, but you already have been here.
Yeah,
So thank you for that because
that would be Beautiful, yeah.
The metal scene needs more amazing bands like you guys, and I kind of want to go into the history of your band right now. And it started in 2001 of October, so you've already been doing this for more than half, almost half of your life, exactly, being 42. You've been on to 21 years. That's
Yeah.
crazy. That's a whole nother life. What brought you into wanting to start a band called Persefone? Because I know you're one of the founding members, and I saw that timeline where you're the only member that's been there from start to finish.
Something like that, yes.
I
Yes.
think Miguel is someone
Yeah.
who was in for a long time as well with you,
Mm-hmm.
but we love Greek mythology, Persephone. We love all that stuff, so that also really intrigued us. So what got you into starting music, A, and B, what made you want to start a band called Persephone?
I mean, I've been answering this question many times, but
Of course.
as I'm getting older, I have to recall from even before, because the years keep passing by. So it's
Yeah.
kind of a long story. It's crazy. I mean, the project that nowadays is called Persephone started way before it was called Persephone. I
Okay.
started playing music when I started playing guitar when I was like 12 years old. I was pretty young. And yeah, for some reason, some kids, they know they want to be soccer players, or nowadays they want to be YouTubers or something like that. They
Yeah, look
have
at
this,
us.
like you are. Back then, my thing was like, I wanted to have a band. That was my thing. I want to be in a band, in a metal band, because I don't know. I was listening to a lot of back then Iron Maiden or Metallica. You had this VHS, and I was like very impressed about that, and I felt in love with this thing very, very early
Oh,
in my life. So back then I was like 16 years old when I started the first recording in Spain, because I was born in Spain.
okay.
And actually with Miguel. Miguel was my longtime friend, and we were both of us. We were from Spain, and then it was called with another name. But the idea was to create this mixture of death metal. We were a lot into early In Flames and Dark Tranquility back then, Dream Theater
Right.
and Symphony X as well. Back then, that was our thing.
Dream Theater, you said.
Yes, we,
Oh,
we
right
tried
on.
to put it
Nice.
all together somehow, but the skills wasn't there. Yeah,
Right.
it was.
Yeah. But not everyone's
we
John
were
Petrucci, right?
no. But we were young. We just wanted to do it, and then there was a lot of passion. We just started recording things, and it sounded really, really crappy and really bad. But we were like, okay, let's keep going. Then I moved to Andorra because of personal reasons, and then I formed Persephone with the same
Wow.
idea. And then he came to Andorra after me to keep going with the project. So
Okay.
he's a founder member as well. And then from there, we didn't know what we were doing, especially back then. And coming from this little country, it was difficult to get outside. So the plan, or we always tell this, but the plan was like, I remember like sitting down, teenagers, like, what are we gonna do to make this thing work? And
Right.
we were like, okay, we'll keep like trying to improve every time and keep recording albums until it's so good that someone has to notice at some point. That was the plan.
Right.
And it took like 20 years, but somehow it looks like people is like kind of noticing, and it worked, but it was a lot of work. But
It
but
worked.
It's a lot of legwork, but talent does shine at the end, especially if we're not the best at marketing and social media and all that stuff. You probably have an easier time now that you have the social medias and all that to push, because you've been doing this since 2000. So at first, it is hard to stand out, especially from such a small country like Andorra. And that's a really incredible story, because it takes someone having a leap of faith like that to get something out like that, and it takes a while to see some of your fruits of your labor. So definitely, as soon as we heard your music, it was different, it was shocking,
It's
mind
mind-blowing.
blowing. It brought all the goosebumps. You're all
Thank you.
technically so sound, but you also look like you had a message you were trying to send. And
Yeah.
some of the themes that I've noticed, that you talk about with your music is like feelings, darkness, death, spirituality, Eastern philosophy. So there's a lot of a wide range of topics that we could go into there. And I noticed you talked about death more earlier in your music, and now you switched to Eastern philosophy later. So was that more personal stuff that happened to your life that changed you to more like a philosophical talk opposed to maybe just raw talking about death as much?
Yeah, I mean, this band has been like part of my life since I was very, very young. So we've been growing up along the band, like tastes, all the skills we are trying to get, and also personally and personally wise. So when we started writing, we just I remember back then with the first album, we didn't pay attention much to the lyrics. I was all about the music. I just wanted to make the music as good as I could.
Right.
I remember this conversation within the band, like the early band, where we just agreed not to talk about politics or religion or anything that could, polarize people.
Yeah.
Just like make like something more artistic, let's say, in order to keep things going. But I didn't really care about lyrics back then. Then we did the
Right.
second album with mythology. It was a nice thing to do, like really interesting, diving all the books and everything. At
That
some
was
point,
core.
that was core,
Right.
definitely. Was a good project to do. And then Shinken came out with the Japanese, because some of the band members, we are into martial arts and meditation and things like that, and Japanese, many things regarding Japanese culture. So we wanted to go even the all the music, the folkloric music from Japan and things
Wow.
like that. So we wanted to do that album. Then in that album, we started to receive this message from some fans, like some lyrics are resonating with me somehow, they're helping
Okay.
me somehow. So and then we were getting a little bit of recognition. So I remember thinking, okay, we have this band, we are all about the music, but what if we try to put some message on the band as well, just to keep things going and make it a little bit
More
apropos?
lively.
Yeah. And then by then, I some of the band members, we were really into meditation back then a lot.
Wow. Okay.
We had many conversations trying to put all that kind of spirituality into the next album, and then it was spiritual migration.
Right. Yeah.
From there, it's like we felt like that was it, like this is what we really want to be all about. And from there, we kept doing the spiritual thing through Atma or Metanoia or even singles. And we will keep doing that on the next albums as well, because it's something that we really believe in and people really perceive it.
Resonate.
Yeah, a lot. Like when we tour, many people, I will have like beautiful experiences, like playing live and this kind of meditating part, and
Yeah.
then you have one guy in the middle of the venue like meditating and people making space for him.
Wow.
Real,
Are you
yeah,
serious?
that things like that happen sometimes. So you could just you see that if you are honest with the music and with the lyrics, people resonate with that, and
Yeah.
it makes things really unique, in my opinion.
It does, because now that you say how much you're into meditation, with the Living Waters video, there's a part where you guys are no one's really moving other than the drummer, but
Yeah,
you're all
yeah.
standing still, and it
Mhm.
really looks like a meditative moment. And to know that people are literally going down and meditating during your concerts. Music for me, I didn't grow up religious. It was my church. It was my religious experience. So like I always took something out of it that was spiritual. So I think it's really wise that you guys took that path to bring in your own personal beliefs and all that, because you're going to find people to truly resonate with other than just the music, because your music is amazing, top notch, but if it has that message with it too, I think that's a perfect path that you guys are taking. And as you're saying, you guys are blowing up now too, so clearly everyone's starting to hear it more too.
Yeah, it opens some conversations, which is beautiful. After the shows, we are not like huge, so we can spend time with everyone after the shows. We are happy
Oh,
to
that's
talk with
great.
everyone. We like to be there. And then sometimes there's this moment, someone comes and wants to really have a conversation. Like, I have this book, maybe he give it to you, and then he starts talking about this song. Maybe it's about this or that. So
Wow.
that sparks some beautiful conversations. Sometimes people make some assumptions on the lyrics on the song, which is cool as well,
Right.
because it's beautiful. It's okay. I'm okay with that, because once you put it out, it's not my or music anymore. It's all about the listener now. But
True.
when you have the chance to talk with the people and then discuss the ideas, that's a beautiful thing. So if that sparks some thoughts on the people, and then sometimes we are able to discuss that. And that happens quite a lot. Yeah, I think that means that we are in the right path.
You are in the right path. And now that I know that you'll have some time for people to chat to, we're definitely getting that ticket so we can come see
Sure,
you in
sure,
real life.
sure. That will
That
be such a pleasure. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, we
so
always
how
do that.
let's
Yeah,
talk a
go
little
for it.
bit about your discography then, because I just want to make sure everyone knows everything that you have done, because you've done six actual CDs now, or EPs, and you have one single out as well, which was called Enloque
In
or
Lakesh, it's like
Enlakesh.
yeah. We always try to find the weirdest word for people to mess that up, so we
I'll
can
mess it
laugh
up
all of
for
us.
you, don't worry. But it had a
That's okay.
really cool, it had an awesome meaning to it. It was a traditional Mayan greeting meaning I am another yourself, or I am you
Yes,
and you are me. And
yes.
how does that resonate with you? And are you trying to make everyone feel kind of the same? We're all going through the same experience.
Yeah, I personally had these epiphanies, like in my own life sometimes. Thinking on that, we are all in this like crazy rust life, like going from here to there, and really into our things and into our minds. But like years before in Laquette was released, I remember I had this moment by praying and doing my thing, where I tried really hard to, what if we are really all one? What if we are really all brothers somehow? What if that guy there in the street and that guy there is actually,
Your
part of
family.
me or
Yeah.
family? Like, what if? I remember like meditating on that like pretty hard, and at some moment it made sense for me. I was like, I could really see that and feel that. And then when I found this in like a thing, like it was a like really ancient thing that it was, spoke like many, like hundreds of years ago. I was like, this is nothing new. And if you
Yeah.
take a look on any religion, it's all about the same thing. So if everyone is pointing at that, maybe there's something out there. And at these
Yeah.
times where we are trying to, put labels in every of us, like I'm this or that, and you are not, so we can separate. I
Yeah.
thought that maybe that message was a good one to put out, because I don't give a fuck about ideologies or labels people want to. I understand people needs that, to,
Of
because
course.
it's scary. It's very scary to look inside, so it's better to look outside and find,
Yeah.
like labels for oneself. But we try to put that out, like if you see to another person in the eye and you understand that you are that, that person is you, relationship change a lot. That's a
Absolutely.
deep thing. We're just trying to put that out there, and in a way that people don't really, like, it's not like preaching. We don't want to go
Mhm.
like, because we are like the worst human beings possible, because we struggle with everything as everyone else. It's not like we are like like
Right.
these perfect persons. We just think on that, and we just try to
Mhm.
put, we are all about, we know how to make music and how to make lyrics. So we're just trying to put our skills into a message that we think is good,
Yeah.
and then we try to go through that. But as everyone else, we struggle. But I think we really believe it's we honestly, we believe that's the right way to go.
I think it is, because creating division it's not a good thing. And I think what you're saying there, we're all part of the same family, we're all part of the same energy. And if we focused on that opposed to where are you from, or like what religion are you a part of, then we all want to do this together. We're better together. And that's why I honestly resonated so much with you. I could feel your spirit, and like we meditate our well and we pray as well. So we're big into that too. So we definitely resonate with your message. And just so I got everything true, I'm going to go through your CDs and you can let me know if I mispronounce something or anything like that. Your first
Hopefully.
CD came out in 2003. So that was 2 years after your band was officially formed. And
Yes.
it was called Truth Inside the Shades.
Yeah.
And you also did a re-recording back in 2020 for this, which is amazing.
It
And
was a
some
really crappy idea, I have to say, but yeah, we
it
did
was a
that.
crappy idea.
It was yeah, a really bad idea. Like it was one of those moments. Like, what if we? It was like a I think 15th anniversary, and it was like, what to do? Reissue, and someone was like, what if we just re-record the whole thing? Oh, great!
Oh
And then
my
we did.
gosh.
It was a lot of work. It was a lot of work, but we did. Yeah, it's there.
That's true because it's a re-recording isn't like a remaster. That was a full
No,
re-recording.
no, we actually rearranged the songs. Like
Oh
we,
my gosh.
yeah, it was like producing your young selves. Like I remember, I was listening to that album. I was like, there are many cringe moments on that album because you are young and you think that's
Yeah,
really nice to do that idea, and then you listen to that years after. It's like, oh my god, this is so bad. So
right.
we, yeah, it was like producing ourselves, like that idea, like John Carlos. No, 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 this is not good. Believe me, change that. So I was able to change some parts, but it was a lot of work. It was fun somehow, but a lot of work.
Well, two questions then. Is it worth going to check by your standard? I know you're saying it's like you were young and all that, but is it still worth checking out?
The album,
Yeah.
yeah, definitely. There's so different, in my
Okay.
opinion.
Right.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Something that I learned from this Truth Inside the Shades is the five soul illnesses combined with the transition from life to death. Could you
Mhm.
elaborate what the five soul
Yeah,
illnesses are?
oh, it's long ago. I remember when we had that idea, we were literally like 17 years old, like so edgy. We found that book about yeah, some diseases of the soul. It was so edgy. It was like, wow, that sounds good. Let's
Right.
do this because we used to do
It's
all the
very
time.
edgy.
Yeah, exactly. We thought it was so profound, but we always try to do this. What is it? Like the albums are like with a theme. You know, the whole
Yeah.
album. The album we try to do like a whole theme going on, and that was it. Like 5 songs, each one, whatever. We always go through that process,
Okay.
but again, not much thought put into the lyrics. It was like a good conceptual, good
Hmm.
concept back then. I remember Miguel and I, like very young, very like edgy, like yeah, death is like so cool. We are playing death metal after all, so let's go.
Exactly.
It's kind of intellectual thing going on. Let's go for that. But I don't even remember anything about those lyrics at this point at all.
That's okay. We're going through your story, so it's gonna get easier
Yes.
as we get closer to the present.
Definitely, because I'm getting old, obviously. But I remember again, we wrote that album in 1 week.
Oh
We
Oh,
wrote
wow.
the
wow.
whole thing because, yeah, long story short, but we wanted to be the first heavy death metal band in the country, not difficult in Andorra, And then
Right.
we were like writing the music, and someone like random told me, "Do you know there's another guys making a death metal band like right now?" And we were like, oh, we need to run now. We need to be the first one. So we
Right.
wrote the whole thing. Yeah, yeah. And we record everything. We put the lyrics together, blah, blah, blah. And that band never appeared. It was like it was even fake. So yeah, it
Oh,
was
jeez.
stupid. But we that was the story. We really pushed it a lot to make it happen to be the first, and we made it. But yeah,
You did make it, man. And it's really cool to hear the stories of what people are going through when they're making their music because it really shows what part of their life they were in when you can hear
yeah.
the lyrics, even though you're saying there wasn't too much thought in the lyrics,
No,
but
no, not
it's
at
still
all.
edgy. You're still trying to be death metal. So that makes a lot of
Yes,
sense.
yes.
Um, so then your second album was called Core, which you were mentioning had the theme of like Persephone herself, right?
Mhm, mhm.
And
Yes.
yeah.
I mean, that album was again another really bad idea.
Oh,
Uh, because we were like, what to do now? No one
right.
knows. I mean, we were able to sign with some independent record label back then. It was like a huge
Oh, cool.
success in a management, international management. So we were like, okay, we're making progress, and the
Wow,
album
yeah.
2008 was released worldwide, like independently, but it was something else. I mean, it was not a demo anymore.
Right.
So and then we were like, the confident. You're young, like you're really confident about your things. And yeah, okay, we made it. Let's do a full album with 3 songs, 20 minutes each song,
Oh,
and
wow.
they play all together as one. And we put this mythology thing in there, like a cinematic thing,
Yeah.
and we did that, and then management was like, it's not a good idea. I mean, you're not that famous to do this crazy shit and pull it up, but we did anyway. And
Good job.
it's one of my favorite albums all time from the band because
Wow.
we were like 20 years old, and it's actually pretty good. The ideas are very good and 20-minute long, and it's kind of cool. Sound is really ugly because we did all ourselves, but it is what it is.
Wow.
And I remember going to the library here because it was like at the beginning of the internet, and like finding books
Hmm.
with the mythology and trying to find all the ideas for the lyrics. And it was a beautiful thing to do, but we failed miserably. I remember one record label. We had one record label in Japan for the first album and
All
for the
right.
second album. We were happy about everything. They were happy about whatever thing we wanted to do. But in Europe, it was different. And then
Wow.
labels were like, it sounds good, but 20 minutes is not really radio friendly at all.
Right.
And then they were like, when you need to split these 20 minute songs into 3 minutes and a half songs.
Oh my
And
gosh.
it
Wow.
made no sense from an artistic point of view. And you are young and you are like, no, it's not my idea. So at the end of the day, we did that. And if you go, I think if you go to Spotify or something like that, you find like a lot of different tracks with names I don't even remember, because it was like trying to find names for like
No kidding.
random names to put, the tracks. And then if you listen track to track, it makes no sense as individual songs. But we did that, and we sang with I remember it was a Greek or Italian label, and it was released, and we played some shows. But yeah, that was Core. Yeah, another
Wow.
great idea.
So you had a Japanese influence right off the bat, and that was your first label, you were saying.
Yeah. We push a lot the Japan thing since the beginning, especially myself, because for me, I don't know. In US, like all the artists we know there, they are like, oh, if you are from the US and you play in Europe, you made it. It's like they want to come to Europe and play.
Yeah. Oh
Mhm.
yeah.
And in Europe, we always think we need to go to US, But for me, was
Oh,
we need
so
to go to
interesting.
Japan.
Wow.
I was like, I want to be known in Japan, because all my influences on guitar and music, they were big in Japan. And
Wow.
Mhm.
again, through all the other influences I had, I really was pushing. I was one of my wish lists, to go to Japan someday and play. So that was, we were pushing it through the all the albums. Yeah.
That's incredible. I've been to Japan myself. It changed my life the most. The culture, like you said,
Yeah.
it's the most influential for me. They're ahead of the game, I think. So I think that's why Japan was accepting what music you were putting out first, because you are pushing some boundaries for metal in a good way. And I think they were ready for it. And I've started finally looking into a lot of Japanese metal bands and how just amazing they are, even current ones, previous ones. They've always been kicking ass, and that's a perfect lead up to your next album, which was Shinken back in
Yeah.
2010. And
Yes.
you went full Japanese with that, I guess, or was it Japanese lyrics? Or we actually haven't checked any of these songs, which we're going to before this interview comes out, so we can find out the trajectory. But what was this album like, Japanese wise?
Well, the thing is that after the second one, I remember meeting with the band like what to do now, and another album. Our plan to make
Yeah.
many albums until it sounds right. And I remember like sitting down with this idea of trying not to go political or whatever, and there was not any idea. Any of the members had any idea by that moment, by the time. And I really was into the Japanese music, Japanese culture, Japanese everything. So I just was like, what if we do that? And it wasn't like, yeah, it's a great idea. It was more like, I don't know. And I was so passionate about it. So they were like,
Yeah.
okay, you do whatever you want. So
Wow.
I did. I did. And again, it was like a crazy album to make, because that was the craziest. Because yeah, it was the craziest one, I think, because we were growing a little bit, and management. We were recording everything in Andorra back then, like in our own studio. You can imagine, like no idea, or home studio, like nothing
Yeah.
really serious. You can tell by the sound of our two first albums, it was made at home. But then the studio kind of closed. The guy recording our stuff, he was like sick of recording bands, and he like didn't want to do it anymore.
Okay.
So we're like, oh, what to do now? So I'm talking to you like 2007, I think, something like that. It was like years ago, and we
Yes.
were like, what if we record everything here, and then we send the music to another place to be mixed? like nowadays it's like a normal thing to do, but back then it
Right.
was like
Yeah.
brilliant idea. Like, what if? So
Wow.
we did one song, like you can imagine, like really, really homemade, record everything, send it to Jacob Hansen, which is a really well-known producer in Denmark. He did like many, like Amarante and everything. But back then he wasn't
Wow.
as big.
Mhm.
So we sent that to him, like, want you to mix one song. It was stupid. He was like, one song is very expensive to do. You need to do more. We need to try. Like, can you mix one song?
Right.
So it was like very, very expensive. But we did that, and then he sent the song back, and it sounded amazing. Like the first time, like big drums and everything. We're like, wow, that's great.
Oh,
Uh,
wow.
let's work this way. But now we had this one song completely mixed and mastered. So we told the management, can you show this song to Century Media, Nuclear Blast, all the big
Yeah.
labels?
Yeah.
Listenable back then was really a huge one. So can you just try to market it a little bit? So he did, and then Century Media, they respond like, oh, we like this, and we're like, what? We like this sound a lot. So it was like okay, and then
What a
the email
moment.
was like, yeah, because then remember we only had one song, so
Yeah.
yeah, they were like, how many other how many songs do you have written? Because we're interested in that, and we were like, how many songs do you need? We were like, I don't know, 10, 12, something like that. And we were like, well, I mean, we have like a lot of music written. That was fake. When do you need it? It was like 1 month from here,
Oh, wow.
and we did it.
You did it
We
though.
Wow.
Yeah, but we were working in the daily jobs at the same time. It was crazy, like
Man.
8 hours, and then write the music. I was living with Miguel back then, in the same place.
Okay.
And we were like working every night, nights without sleep at all. Like we reached to the point, we made the music, we sent to the mixing process, they did it, like, wow, really crazy. And then we sent to Century Media, and then politely they were, oh, no, we're not interested, maybe next time.
No way.
Okay.
No. Oh.
Yes, and it's even worse because when that happened, we felt bad about it. Of course, we put a lot of effort here on this, but I was kind of happy because it was a Japanese theme album, and the Japanese label was so happy about the whole thing. Like,
Yeah.
because we had even Japanese collaborations. Like, do you like anime?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes,
Yeah.
I do.
Yes. Do you know this anime series called Samurai Champloo?
I've heard of it.
I haven't heard
Okay.
that one.
It's like a little bit old, but from samurais and everything. And there was one chapter where there was like this character singing and really ancient folkloric Japanese. It was amazing thing, like goosebumps. We contact that old lady, and she sang on one of this. I mean, we did the whole Japanese
Oh,
thing full,
That's
full.
so cool.
yeah.
Even the whole album is all about Miyamoto Musashi Book of Five Rings, which is another samurai. And then
Mhm.
there are some movies from the 50s, Japanese movies from the 50s called Samurai 1, 2, and 3. So the very end of the album is the main theme of the 50s soundtrack. And
That's
we
so
did the whole thing. It was beautiful. So I was like, okay, the Japanese guys will be happy about it. Probably will be able to go there and play.
Yeah.
So the album was released in Japan. But 1 week after it was released, the CEO of the record label died. Like, he
Died.
died.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
So the record label was bankrupt. So the album
Oh
was
my
taken off
God.
the shelves. So yeah, that was really bad. I
Carlos,
remember,
that's a hard one.
yeah, that was very hard because it was very hard. I remember when the news came to Andorra, and we talked to the management, can you market it again in Japan, please? And he was like, no, the
Right.
album is old by this moment. It's 1 week old, so no one wants it. So I remember
Gosh.
crying on that one with because it was a lot of work. And I remember it was like a moment we wanted to stop it because it was like, it makes no sense, all this work.
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
But I remember being with Miguel, like completely devastated about it. And he told me, I was like actually really raging for hours, ranting.
I
And then we
bet.
were like this moment where you are like this calm, but you are really like desperate. And he was like, know what? And I told him, the plan is to do another one. So let's do another one.
Amen,
And that
brother.
was and that was spiritual migration after that. So we started writing right away. That was the thing. It's been like this mindset forever through these years.
With you and Miguel, because you guys were living together and able to share that pain and everything with all of this that you've gone through with creating the band and having all these hiccups and doors closing, windows opening, etc. Has it made it easier to handle that pain, to be able to keep going and grab the line of that desperation and keep pulling
Yeah,
yourself up?
definitely.
Oh yeah.
He is actually like my brother, like for real. Like he's been my friend since we were kids, doing this forever and living together and everything. So when you have someone, it's like in a marriage. If you are,
Yes.
the right partner, if you
Yes.
have someone that like picks you up when you cannot, and vice versa, that's the key of success. Because many times I was like, I really cannot go through this anymore, and he was like, no, 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 we will make it. And then same thing, in the opposite, he was like, I don't see future on this. Don't worry, I will. If we work, I will do it. And then that's why it works. All these years. Now we have other people that is really putting the work. But yeah, that was very important. Like people around is very important when it comes to really like big difficult projects.
Yeah, and I think I like what you said, because sometimes we're only running on 20%, but then the other person might be running on 80% and they have to lift you up and create that 100% together to move forward. So it's amazing that you have someone there that when you are feeling down, that they can motivate you up, because those were some tough blows. Like I could see when you were explaining the process of this album, how much effort and pain and also
Yeah.
love that went through it, and we could see how much it meant to you. And I'm so happy that you did move forward, because it's in those moments where people can crumble, but it's amazing to know you had that support to move forward.
Yeah, at the end of the day, the story you have is all you have, and now that we are old, I feel old now. I see like the young musicians in the country or even outside of the country when we play live everywhere, and then some kid, 20 years old, come to you
Yeah.
and explain to you they are going through having a band, whatever. And now I can tell to them like this can happen. Don't be discouraged. Don't worry.
Mm-hmm.
And because for them, I made it because I'm playing on the stage, or maybe they like the album we've done, or maybe we've played overseas. So they are like really, as I was like really wishing and dreaming on doing that stuff. And now I think the good thing is when you go through, it's like in life, you go through a lot of difficult moments, so you can tell the younger generations when they go through, look at me,
Yeah.
it's okay. It's okay. It will pass. I did it. You will do it anyway. You can lift them up. So it's I'd rather prefer to go through those moments than things going perfectly, because it's to me, of course, but back then it was like pain in the ass. But nowadays I reflect on that, and I'm really proud and happy of all the trajectory, even if it was difficult. Yeah.
Yeah, and I think what you guys went through also maybe helped you bring out your own personal thoughts and opinions into your music, because your next album was Spiritual Migration. And was everyone kind of going through these spiritual moments with this album, and then they wanted to get a lot of their inputs on this? Also, who kind of composes and writes the lyrics? Is it mainly you, or?
It depends. Usually I'm in both all the time, definitely. Sometimes the singer does some. Sometimes it's like a group effort, like we sit down and do something together. Nowadays, not that much, because now it's like, as you say, like kids, some members they have kids and everything.
Yeah.
So it's more difficult to be all at the same time in the same place to do something
Yes.
else.
Yes.
Very complicated. But yeah, usually, for example, in spiritual migration, we had the whole idea as a group before, like all the topics. But then the drummer back then, he put the actual words on the lyrics, and then in AFMA I did like most of the lyrics, and then the new drummer as well. So it all depends. But since the direction is clear, it depends of the skills of the person that is writing them.
That's fair. I'm glad that you guys give everyone a chance to kind of get their story out, because I think that's really important. And if you don't, it can lead to a lot of people needing to try to find their own outlets. And it's a really smart thing, I think, for bands to let everyone have that voice.
Yeah, definitely. Having a band is like having the worst part of a marriage, but with five other guys and their wives and their kids.
Exactly.
Only the worst, only the bad parts. It's very difficult. Relationships are very complicated everywhere.
Yes.
So when I look back on the trajectory of the band, I'm proud of the music. I'm proud of the career, but I'm even more proud that most of us, we are still together, and the people that
Mm,
is not is actually in good terms, and
good.
that's the most important thing.
Okay, well, Athema was your next album that came out in 2017. So it looks like you try to get an album out every 3 to 4 years, which is a good amount of time. So with Athema, you said that you did most of the lyrics here. What was one of the themes or terms for this album that you were trying to push out for people?
Yeah, Athma is actually it means soul, like that. It's a word to mean soul,
Soul,
and
okay.
yeah. So when it came to the topic, I just wanted to go full spirituality on that, like trying to put some ideas about materialism and going, away of that struggle. And it's a conceptual album, so it goes from the first song, which
Nice.
is called like the first, not the opening, but the first actual track is called Prison Skin, which is called, there's this
Oh,
part on the song, the lyrics, that it says something like, you are not your face, you are not your name, you are
mm-hmm.
more than you're something else. So in that first song, you start thinking of that kind of thoughts, that you are maybe other thing. And then Living Waves, actually, when that part of the album came, it's like the pivotal moment when you go, especially like Living Waves is all about existence. Is like an ocean. Let's say you can see the ocean, you can see the waves going in and out, and
Yeah.
lives, I mean, everything keeps calm and then the same, but we just appear in the existence and we go again where we were before. So
Wow.
that was the concept in Living Waves, and then we explored that, letting go of anger, letting go of fear, and trying to just be peaceful within the idea of we are part of something bigger than our worries and our daily
Mm-hmm.
struggles and stuff like that. Because when you are in your daily, things, we are always like anxious about everything else. When then something really horrible happens, and then most of that stuff doesn't matter anymore.
Yeah. Oh, of course.
Yes.
It's like we need something really horrible to then start putting our heads in the right place. So this album is all about trying to, as the most you can, get being on the here and now as much as possible. It's difficult because of course things happen and whatever, but the album is all about that, like trying to transcend a little bit this materialistic point of view, which is, of course, we live in that. Again, I live in that, but trying to put the word out.
Wow, I agree with that so much. And when we watched and listened to Living Waters, the way that you're saying that totally makes sense with the waves of the ocean and
Yes.
trying to still stay still in that calmness of the storm. And yeah, tough moments do humble you. Like I said, we accidentally didn't hit record on one of our favorite artists on this, and that
Oh,
almost stopped our momentum for wanting to do these interviews. But like you and Miguel had those moments when we're looking at each other. We're like, no, like we can learn from this. We can grow from this. Let's have a better interview next time. Let's get more prepared. And it's just
keep
amazing
going.
to, we're all humans, and it's just amazing to know we're all going through these things because like we idolize people like you, at least for me, because I'm a big guitarist myself. You're incredible at guitar, you're
Thank you.
incredible at making music, and so for me I get a bit nervous sometimes, but like you said, we're all just humans, we're all part of this, and let's do it together. And I love the message and how your albums are growing as you're growing, because you can really see it, and the calmness that you have now, I think it's a testament to that you're actually practicing what you're preaching as well, and that's the best form of teaching people, right?
It should be. We try, of course, we fail, and
Yeah.
then, yeah, life is a roller coaster. We just try to do our best and go there. But at the end of the day, it's like you said, and when we travel or we can talk with people from everywhere, like interviews, because we have the chance. We being in a band that is like, we are not a big band, we are a small band, but we are kind of internationally known somehow. And then we've
Yeah.
been able through the years to talk with like hundreds of people, interviews. I mean, we've done like hundreds of interviews and everything. And then you talk with the people, and then you meet like thousands of people on the shows and you talk with them. everywhere you see that definitely we are going through the same shit, all of us. It
Yes, we
doesn't
are.
matter where you are from. Then when you see that, it's like we are trying to put boundaries where they are not. I mean, we are
Yeah.
definitely going through the same stuff. Let's focus on that. So that's why we feel encouraged to keep on with this idea of putting that word out, But yeah, I do feel that like we're just a bunch of guys making music together. We're friends, just friends making music. As you and I'm a guy playing guitar, as you are a guy playing guitar, and we are exactly the same. Maybe I'm older, so I have more time to practice. That's the thing, maybe, but there's no difference at all. It's just you can play as I can play, and just
Yeah.
nothing special about me.
Well, hey, and you're trying to push that message. And how did your message switch from athma to metanoia?
Metanoia, it was since we cover all the soul thing. I mean, soul is
Yeah.
for us. I mean, not it's like yeah, we cover all the soul thing. Or ideas on the soul thing were all of them on that album, and we wanted to keep with the spiritual thing, and we wanted to keep on the concept albums idea. So in the
Right.
we were writing the music because we write the music before the lyrics are usually done.
Okay.
So in the meantime, I came across I like to read. So I came philosophy and psychology. I like a lot that.
Same as us. Yes.
Nice. So I came across to these concepts of anabasis and catabasis, which is like Greek concepts. Catabasis
Yeah.
is like going down and to the abyss
Yeah.
and the
Depths of
hell,
hell.
and then burn everything there like in the most painful way possible to go out again with the anabasis, which is like a reinventing yourself.
Big
and
time.
and then metanoia is a concept that goes like trying to change beliefs, which is something really complicated, like through a really
Very
hard,
hard.
and again, ideologies and shit. So we were like, metanoia is about you have this idea and you go through this process, painful, you face yourself and then you suffer all that, you let everything go, and then you come. It's like a Platon, the cave.
Oh,
I don't know
yes.
translation in English, but that it's the same idea. So we liked that thing since the album was a little bit darker on the music, and the concept was a little bit more darker. Athma is like peace and love all the time. It's like a breath of fresh air.
Right.
Metanoia has some keywords like there's a lot of fire and flame things, and burning
Okay.
things and painful things and aching and that part of that things to make the album a little bit darker. So that was the idea,
Right.
and we pulled it out. Yeah.
But like you're saying, when you go down into the depths of the abyss or hell or anything, you get refined. And then if you come out of it, you are a diamond after that and you're shining brighter it is almost like a rebirthing period, like the phoenix out of the ashes and all that too. So that's really cool. And to show the growth of even just the humans trying to evolve into a better person, like you can see it all throughout your music, and it's really encouraging. And we're getting so much into Eastern philosophy and all that too, so it's really cool to know that's what you guys are pushing more now, because even though in the West and the East they have different philosophies and all that, they all kind of trying to tell you to do the same and to go into the fire with people and come out of it better on the other side. And that's super encouraging and something I wanted to attack next. Let's try to get more present right now. You got
Okay,
something in
we
your
made it.
hand.
We
Yeah, we
made it.
made
I
it. You did
think.
really amazing. We love the stories. It means a lot to us to know your journey, because that makes you who you are right now. We can tell that that's like another limb for you, your guitar. And
Yeah.
something I wanted to ask about that is, why did you choose the Jackson guitars as your choice of weapon?
Ah, good question. I mean, again, I'm 42 now. I mean, it's easy to answer. I've been through many brands. I started playing with Jackson back then because my favorite guitar player is, and you will know him because of your T-shirt, but it's Marty Friedman. And he's been forever my biggest inspiration. And
Coincidence, I guess.
yeah, And also Dave Mustaine as well. I mean, for me, Megadeth
Oh
was like
yeah.
a huge thing. So all my favorite guitar players, they played Jackson back then. And then I was a teenager, and then I remember, looking at the catalogs, and putting on the walls like, oh, those guitars, and falling in love. And then with the time, I started playing with other brands. Then somehow I got sponsored by some brands like Mayonnaise Guitars back then. Then another Ormsby Guitars, they sponsored me as well. So I switched and I was playing with them for some years as well. Uh, but for me, it was impossible to get into the Jackson family because it's a huge band. It's a huge brand of
Yeah.
guitars.
Yeah.
And I was like actually sponsored by a beautiful guitar brand. I was so happy to be in Ormsby back then. But then the opportunity came in. This guitar player called Angel Vivaldi. I don't know if you know him.
Nope.
It's a guy, he plays instrumental music. He's from
Okay.
US. And we kind of became friends. And somehow the opportunity, he plays with Charvel, and
Okay.
it's
Yeah.
the same brand. And somehow I was like, if you have the possibility to switch to Jackson, would you like it? And I was like, I will do it in a heartbeat because
No kidding.
my teenage me will be so happy about it. So when the opportunity came, I was put in contact with the guys in the company, and they were so happy to having me. Like, yeah, welcome to the family.
Wow.
Sent me one guitar. They sent me one guitar right away. This one, 7 string,
A
because
seven string.
Oh,
Wow.
yeah, this one,
wow.
because in Metanoia we were playing 7 string back then.
Wow.
And yeah, then I got this one, then I had another one. So I'm like living a dream as a guitar player by being able to play with this brand. I mean,
Wow.
I really hope I can. This is my last home until I retire. So yeah, that's why. I mean, Marty Freeman, I guess, is the answer.
That's a great answer. When did you get like with the Jackson guitars? Like what do you remember what year that was?
Yeah, yeah. The first Jackson I had,
Yeah.
93, 94, I think.
Wow.
It was called a Jackson PS3, like the video
Yep.
game. It
Yeah.
was like a Randy Rhoads kind of guitar, but
Okay.
it was the Performer series. It was like the cheapest one, and I remember it was really bad because it has the shape, but the
Right.
jack connection, it was in this horn here, so I could not put it in between the legs. Made no
Oh.
sense. And I had to play, but I was so happy. And then after that, I was able to afford. My parents bought me Jackson Kelly, Marty Friedman, not the signature again, the really cheap one.
Okay.
But for me, it was like the craziest thing ever. I was like, I think it was 16 or 17 years old, and I was, you can imagine. I mean, for me, it was like the everything for me. And I got that guitar signed by him, by Marty Friedman himself.
Oh my gosh, man.
Yeah,
Wow. That's
yes, yes,
amazing.
yeah.
It's incredible how much those big four thrash metal bands have influenced almost every single metal head out there. Like everyone we've
Yes.
talked to, symphonic metal, progressive metal, those four bands really are pioneers for metal, and it's crazy to see how far they've reached. And also, so you're with Jackson Guitars, that's incredible. And then you also said you're with Napalm Records now. And
Yeah.
we love Napalm, everything they put out. I think it's incredible that you're associated with that you're with them now. What was that moment like when you got to join them?
It was amazing. I have to tell you that the older I'm getting, and the more time I spend on the music business, uh, I mean, it's not like when I was 20 or in my 20s, like something like that. I remember like jumping on the room when something like that happened. I imagine myself like really being like the happiest person ever by signing that deal.
Mm-hmm.
I was, but it wasn't like that. It was like more of we started to have some recognition, and then we offered the album to some record labels, and then there was some interest by other like big record. For the first time, it was Metal
Wow.
Blade was there, some interest by Nuclear Blast. Our favorite one was Napalm because they really it was like they really liked the music we were doing,
Yeah.
and we just choose to go there, and yeah, we met the CEO on this tour in Austria, I think. Yeah, it was in Austria.
Wow.
and
Wow.
and yeah, he was happy about our plans of recording in the future and everything, so that for us it was a huge step forward. Definitely, it was huge because of the promotion as well. These companies, they have like many people working for them, and you can feel it like with all the cross promotion and people. The album reached to more people, and that's a beautiful.
That's amazing.
But the best part of being in Napalm is that they didn't ever put a finger on the music at all. They just wanted to. They just wanted to listen one song. We sent the demo. It was like nice. Next thing we know, we recorded the whole thing, master, like not even nothing, and then we sent the album. We're like beautiful, but they didn't say anything about nothing.
No critiques at all.
No critiques, no like radio friendliness or anything.
No. Do whatever you want. We'll go with that, and they did, and that's something I have to say. They were like that.
Awesome. And with that, and with recognition and everything, what were your emotions like in the magnitude of being nominated for Guitar Performer of the Year in 2022 by Progspace?
Kind of stupid. I mean, come on.
No, it's not.
Have you seen that list?
Yeah.
We saw the list.
Arian Lucas.
Makes no sense. I was laughing. I was laughing here with my friend. Like, can you imagine? No, I mean, it makes no sense. I mean, I'm not like no.
Carlos, don't kid yourself. You're modest.
No. It's not modest. It's just reality. The guys there, they were people like Guthrie Govan in there. I mean, I can number like 100 guys I follow in Instagram that they play cycles around me, no problem. Can you imagine those guys? I mean, Michael Romeo was there. It was there if I can remember, isn't it? It was Michael Romeo somewhere.
Yeah.
Come on, that guy is one of my biggest influencer, but it made no sense. I was like, I don't know, it was unbelievable. Like whatever. I don't know. I don't know where I was in the final top or whatever. But then we got the album of the year, which is even crazier, So whatever. No, I don't know. People is crazy.
Well, Carlos, you did say that once you put the music out, it's up to us to interpret it and let you know how it is. So that was real fan voting and real appreciation. And from us, take it from me, I love my medal. You stood out.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. It's difficult for me. I mean, I told you, I mean, I'm just a guy playing guitar at home with my idols. And as you have your, inspirations, I have for some, and then you see your name, throw into with those names, and for you it makes no sense. It's like, it makes no sense. It's like that. It makes no sense. I think some people, the younger people, like, no, you deserve it. You are for them. I'm like kind of the same thing, but I know I'm not, because I can't fool myself.
Right.
So it's fun. It's just fun. It's just fun. I mean, I'm pretty confident when it comes to Persephone's music. I'm very confident the stuff we're putting out is good quality. My playing, not that much, but that's another thing,
Hey, fair enough. That's cool. You got album of the year too. Was that for 2022?
That's phenomenal.
Wow.
Yeah. And we had the guys from Progspace coming on in Germany to the show with Neobli Viscaris, and they give to us the award, like physical award.
Oh, like a plaque for it.
Cool.
Yeah, and we make a picture, and we was like joking around with the guy, and well, I don't know. It's I don't know what to say on that stuff.
So I have another follow-up question with that, because we've heard this from other artists who we've interviewed in the past. Do you or members of your band, do you ever feel like imposter syndrome sometimes with all the time?
Yeah,
like you're saying.
Like you're saying.
Probably you're feeling like that right now with the interview. Like
we are.
It's the way it is. I mean, of course. I mean, we have to push through, because, but not think too much. But of course, all the time you can see all the beautiful. I mean, I like the music other people does all the time, not the music I do. And then it's a crazy thing, because then you put it out and then some people like it, and then they tell you, I like the music you do, and then you feel confident about it somehow. And then you go again to write some music, and you feel like it's the worst shit ever again. It's like, so it's always the same cycle. So I feel that imposter syndrome all the time. And I think it's not good. I don't know why that happens.
Mm-hmm.
I think with the age, it goes better. Now I feel I feel better about it because I'm accepting, maybe, I don't know, you are young, you want to be like the best and whatever. But nowadays I feel like happy and blessed, and it's like whatever, man. I do what I do, and people like it. I'm putting all my effort, but yeah, it
Mhm.
happens from time to time, all the time. Yes. And every artist I know, even my own inspirations in guitar players I like, and I met them, and they are going through the same. I can tell you, all of them,
Yes.
all of
All of
them,
them are, eh?
all of them.
Yeah. It's hard to feel your worth, but I mean, like, what recognition do you need to finally know that you've made it? Like, did you ever get to one of those moments where I know you're saying when you got your napalm, you weren't blowing up like when you were a teenager, and now maybe you can hear it and it almost calms you down instead of motivates you because you're like, okay, we made it. Like, I can just focus on the art I love, put it out. We know people are going to hear it that want to hear it. And is that kind of like where you're feeling now?
Uh, that recognition thing is actually a trap. It's a
Oh,
trap.
it's a trap. Okay, yeah.
That
Well
doesn't matter
said, man. Well said.
because I thought that you always want more. It's, within us. I remember I was like, I remember my mother when I was very young, she was practicing every day, and she told me, and she always remembered that to me when I go crazy with all the stuff we're doing, and I'm
Right.
bitching around when we talk, and she asked me back then, I was like 13 or 14, why are you practicing that much? What is your goal? She was
Hmm.
curious about it, like why all this effort. And it looks like I told to her, if I ever in my life play one show in front of, I don't know, 10 people with my songs and they like it in some stage, that will be it for me.
Right.
That was what I said, and I mean it. But
That
then
was
you
your,
play,
yeah.
yeah, but I did. And then I wanted to play in front of more people. And then I want to play in front of other people. And then I want to do better than whatever. And then then you want to go to Japan. I remember saying that if I play in Japan, that will be it. That I can die like happy. And then
Right.
I did. But then I was like, if I could play again, but then in this venue, and it goes on and on
Just
and
keeps
on.
going.
Yeah. So you just
I
keep raising the ceiling until you get that
it's a trap.
next kick
You will
almost.
never, never, ever be happy. That's the
Yeah.
thing. Because if I talk with my young self and I explain to him everything that he will have, like you will be on the Young Guitar magazine, in Japan, you will be in there, and I was. You will play in Japan several times. You will have international albums. You will tour the world, play back in open air, play all the big festivals, meet your musicians. He will be like, this is nuts. But when
Yeah.
you do that, you fall in love with the idea of doing that. You fall in love
Yeah.
with it. But once you do it, like it's like when you're really crazy about one holidays or something, it's the whole idea. Or when you want to purchase something like this will make me happy. No, no, no.
Yeah.
Happiness is nowhere there. Don't, it's in another place, another place. It's good to have
Hmm.
goals and challenges, and it's beautiful,
Hmm.
and we keep working. But all that recognition doesn't help you with the imposter syndrome or your happiness at all. I mean,
Well
uh,
said.
Very
in
well
my
said.
opinion, in my experience, it's never as you think. And then somehow you stop looking in there, trying to find recognition or acceptation or whatever.
That's incredible. And you have to redefine your success, especially if it's making you keep chasing. Like, speed never satisfies speed. People never max out their cars, yet they'll get a quicker car just to try to go faster, yet they've never even maxed out their old car. And that's really well said. And for us now, just hitting the record button's a win for us. So like anything that comes after it, we're super happy and we're benefiting
Great.
from it. You also talked about a lot of your other passions. Before getting to your other passions, though, I know you're doing your tour right now. Is there anything else in mind that you're putting out music wise? Or are you just focusing on trying to nail these tours and like practicing a lot with your band? Or do you have another CD coming in soon? Or I guess that's probably a little farther down the road.
No, there will be new music pretty soon. I
Oh,
can
right
tell you.
on.
We are
Ooh.
about to go and record in August. We are traveling to Sweden to work with
Ooh.
David Castillo in Ghostwire Studios, where
Wow.
Catatonia and
Oh,
Lepros and all these albums, so on,
yeah.
and we work with him in in Metanoia, and we became kind of friends. And he is producing the new stuff, and we have booked the studio for August, and we will spend some time there, and definitely there will be some music sooner than expected, maybe. So yeah, those are the plans.
That's super exciting, and we're excited to see you in November as well. So let's start talking about some of your other passions, because some of these passions we're into as well. And you did mention your love for Japan and like the martial arts. Something we found out is actually that you have at least a yellow belt in karate,
Yeah,
and in the karate style that you do is Kyokushin. Is
Kyokushin,
there
yeah.
is there a way that you could explain what that style is? I didn't know there was different styles of karate, so that's new to me. And just what
Yeah.
got you into choosing karate out of all the martial arts?
Yes, I've been doing that for a long time. It's karate, and it's full contact, and
Oh,
it's very hard to KO. You know, you go, and it's not like a light spar. You spar
it's
very hard.
TKO. Wow.
Yeah, and
Wow.
it can happen. The only when you spar, you cannot punch directly in the face, but you can kick in the head. No worries,
You can kick that.
and you can knee in the face as well. So,
It's like
yeah,
no
yeah.
punch, but every other body part is
Every other
okay.
part, it's okay. And then
Takes
I've been
skill to
doing
do
that.
that.
Yeah, I cannot. I mean, I love it, but I'm better playing guitar than
Right.
fighting people. So I get beat up all the time. But I've been going in and out for many years. Kyokushin. I'm in love with the sport, but lately I had some major injuries by fighting there. I broke a
Oh,
leg, like yeah,
oh,
like
like your femur, like the high leg, or
it was no, I was peroné. I don't know, like a lower
oh,
part on the
okay,
yeah, and it was like 9 months recovering, and I had like minor injuries, like my ribs, and I fucked up this finger, and then
damn.
fingers is like okay, I don't really want to, put these things in jeopardy, So I promoted myself with like, and now I think I'm like I tell you, green belt, and next one is
Oh,
brown. Next one is black. So I'm quite there, but
wow.
it's not like I'm going full time. So I go sometimes, but I go like really careful. And I don't know, I'm 42, man. I love going there. It's my passion, but I'm a little bit afraid all the time. So I'm not going as full as I was back then because I'm worried about injuries.
That makes sense. Have
Yeah.
with fighting with karate and stuff, I have friends who have done karate and they do it because it does connect them with a bit of their spiritual and inner self. Do you find that as well for you, and like how does that help with your music?
Yeah, definitely.
Mhm.
It's a part that I really cherish, and yeah, especially as I told you, I love philosophy and psychology, and when it comes to Japan, like the whole traditional, morals they have, like 20 samurais books everywhere.
Oh,
Oh,
wow.
here, and I've been going through that. It's something I really like, and then when we go there and we train hard, and then we meditate before and after, because you can go and spar kickboxing, which is beautiful. But when you go to Japanese martial art, you have the whole thing, the respect thing.
Yeah.
I really like that, the meditation before, and then we, like thank you the master after that. Even with we are friends, but would you thank you him for his time, and that things really make me connect with something other than the punches and the hard
Yeah.
training. It's all about the whole thing, and yeah, here we have a beautiful person teaching, and I'm happy to. By the way, when the first time I played in Japan, I was wearing the dojo t-shirt, and he was so happy
Oh,
about it. So those little things,
those are big things though. And you love being taught, but you also teach yourself. And at least I saw that you did a master class with Philip. Do you do
Mhm.
anything like that still, like where people can come to you and learn guitar from you? Because I mean,
Yeah,
you're nominated as one of the best guitarists,
of
so
course,
like
of course.
we got to hear from the best, right?
Of course, as the big superstar I am, I can tell you that. No, I've been teaching guitar since I was a teenager. I've been doing that forever, and I do still today here in Andorra. I work in the school, and I teach like
Nice.
small kids, crazy guitar players. I love teaching all of everyone. I really
Wow.
love teaching guitar, and nowadays I'm even teaching people from other countries as well via internet because they contact me because of the band,
Yeah.
and I'm having the best of times because I'm most in love with the instrument that I am with the music.
Right.
And if you ask me, I don't really enjoy writing music as much. I enjoy performing because the people and everything.
Yeah.
But the thing I love the most when it comes to music is practicing it and teaching to other people. That's the thing that's my thing.
Well, that's amazing. How do people come and reach you right now to actually get like a class with you? Because you're saying
Yeah,
you're doing it online as well.
yes, yes. Yeah, they just DM me, and then I have this website which is completely finished, but it's not uploaded because I have too much in my plate right now. If I put the word out there, and then
Yeah,
like two, three people come to me, I will be like, I cannot, don't have the time to do this properly.
I
But I
hear
will
you.
push it. Yeah, I will push it in after the recordings, and yeah, I can accept like 4 or 5 people like that,
Wow.
not more, because I have like 35 students here in Andorra, and
Wow. Okay.
I'm also working in a production company where we are make music for video games and films and
Oh,
Oh.
series, television. So I have a lot of work in other fields as well.
If you're able
wow.
to tell us a little bit, are there any completed games that are out there that you've worked on that you're able to
Yeah,
talk about?
mostly we've done a lot of cell phone games. We work
Oh,
with a
okay.
company. Yes, we work with a company called Good Game Productions, and they put like this big farming,
Like
games.
Farmville style?
Yep.
Yes, and
Yep.
also they have a lot of other companies in there, and they hire us for, I don't know. There was two. I don't remember the name, but Iron Order is another one. Strategy, war, like
Okay.
everything. We've done
Just
a lot of games. We kind of keep the track for all of them. But yeah, there's some soundtracks on YouTube and Spotify as well. And
Wow.
now we are full. Right now we are doing music for a TV series for kids, uh,
Really?
little kids. Yes, and it's the third season already, and we are making a movie as well for them. It's like for 4 years old kids. It's like a pre-scholar, and it's a beautiful series.
That's
And
amazing.
I'm playing all the death metal things, and then when I work on that, it's like 3 chords. Trying to make it this
I was
beautiful
gonna say.
melody.
What kids show is it, if you don't mind me asking? If
The
you're able to
name?
talk. Yeah.
Sure. I mean, it's in many countries. It's called Mo Monsters.
Mo
Write it
Oh,
for
Monsters.
you in the
monsters.
chat if you want to
Okay.
check it out. It's
Yeah.
beautiful.
We
We
It's
love.
have our youngest, Oliver. His thing is music, so every single kids show he watches, it has to have a soundtrack to, whether
yeah.
it's deafening to my ears or not. He loves the music.
It's a good
So
thing. It's very easy thing. It's like there's these little creatures with a lot of colors, and they go through these adventures together, and then they learn something. It's like a very interesting.
That's
The
cool.
same thing, they learn how to, I don't know, like play soccer, or maybe
Yeah.
they to use I don't know, whatever. And then they have their own personalities, and then like the
that's
kids
really
recognize
cool.
themselves, like, and then we put the music on all the little monsters,
Wow.
and we've done that for a lot of many chapters, like, yeah, we've been like 3 seasons already, and yeah, we love doing that. It's so different than the death metal thing.
That's
Yeah.
But
it's
yeah.
such a different thing from the death metal. How did
Yes.
like did they reach out to you, or how did that happen to get into kids shows from death metal?
Yeah.
Yeah, it all came up. We have this company called Sonos, and we make music for our own things. And then
Mhm.
I don't know, we had this. We are like 3 people in the company. Miguel is one of them, and then myself and another guy. And then yeah, we were into some meetings with all the producers and everything, and I don't know, that happened.
It
They
just
were like,
happened.
And you took advantage and went
I'm,
with it.
I'm really, really happy to work in anything,
Yeah.
I'm really, because I like to meet people and try my best, and, go outside of my comfort zone. And then when that
Mhm.
happened, I remember I wrote the main theme of the show, it's
Oh
like,
wow.
you will listen to it.
Oh, we
Uh,
will.
Oh, I
at the
will.
beginning. Something like that, really, really swing feel for kids. and I sent to them, and they were like, "We love it. We're singing it all day long."
Oh my
And
gosh.
we got the job. I don't know, and it was like 4 or 5 years ago, and this keeps going. So yeah, it's okay. It's good for us, and we enjoy doing that.
That's quite the treat to hear. Like I just became a father myself 5 months ago, so I'm
Congratulations.
starting to see all these funny kids show, but I never would imagine someone like yourself is maybe the one behind some of these
Yeah,
tracks. So
yeah.
that's
You never know.
incredible. And something you also mentioned about getting out of your comfort zone, and I'm going to ask this as a guitarist right now. My finger right now, as you can see, my pinky, it's stuck.
Oh, what happened?
So I can't in grade 8, so like 2008, a football came in and broke the tendons from it, and now it can't bend at all. So I play like this, but it
Okay.
really limits me, right? Is it wise to maybe do the switch now?
No,
No.
I don't think
Oh,
so.
thank you for telling me that.
No,
I've been telling him to like, I'm like, nah, just do it. You could relearn. He's
no,
like,
no, no, no,
no.
no, no, no. I mean, it's really, really bad that you have this thing going on, of course.
It
But
sucks.
you can play probably everything with 3 fingers. There's this guy called I will give you 2 examples. I told you about Obscura.
Yep.
Mhm.
You know them, the band,
Yep.
Yep.
technical death metal. The guitar player Christian Muthner, one of my biggest influence when it comes to technical music. He had this condition, in brain condition, where these 2 fingers stopped working.
Oh, whoa.
You know,
Yeah.
when he touches something with these 2 fingers, this go like this. So
Are you
it's
serious?
yeah, like really
Wow.
bad. So he had to put actually a glove on the hand to trick the hand to be able
Wow.
to play every night. And there's another guy with the same condition called Terry Sirek. There's some interviews with both of them. Terry was one of the most ready guys ever. But then the same thing, 2 fingers, he can use them, but not much. So this one is completely useless for him right now. But he
Really?
changed the way he played. He started using tapping. He started using another way to approach it. I will
Yeah.
send to you some videos so you can grab some inspiration and some interviews.
Yeah.
He changed everything, and he can do great with the new condition. He went through all the depression about it and whatever, but then he was like, I can't play. You just try to accommodate the stuff for you. You don't have to play like other people is playing,
Hmm.
so in my opinion, my humble opinion, if you're used to do this, I think it's
Yeah.
better for you to adapt to the situation, and you will find ways to play the stuff. If you cannot reach something with the finger, you have another hand,
Very
so
true.
True.
Yeah.
you try to go there, and maybe you can find your own voice with that. You're like, you don't know,
No,
yeah,
thank you. That is very inspirational to hear, because I've felt so
it's
restricted with
horrible.
this. But
Yeah.
I mean, that's part of what makes you unique. And there is a lot of, I can still like push down on it, but
Okay.
like, so there's some moments I can still reach, but like if I try to stretch out, as you see, it doesn't really
No, you
help
can't.
too much. But
Do
like,
you know Django Reinhardt? The gypsy, gypsy jazz, this
Gypsy
music,
jazz.
no, I
like
don't.
this kind of music. Like, I don't know if you can hear, like,
We can't hear anything there.
it's like a classic from the 20s,
Okay.
uh,
Yes.
Yeah, yeah.
gypsy music. There's this guy called Django Reinhardt. Was one of the biggest guitar players back then, with the gypsy guitars, big one. If you
Yeah.
listen to his music, it's crazy difficult to play, like crazy difficult. And he only had 2 fingers working.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, wow.
He burned the whole hand, and he was playing all the stuff with 2 fingers. If you listen to it, I'm not even capable to play it with the four.
Wow. Oh
So
gosh.
you can do it. You can do it. If you can do it. I
Hey
mean,
man,
it sucks, but you can do it.
that's the most inspiration I've ever gotten from anyone. So anyone, if you want to get taught from Carlos, he has the right words and he hasn't even shown me the technique yet. So thanks for that. That actually really makes me feel happy.
Go for it, man. Go for it.
Thanks, man. So we got another cool question. You brought up how you do stuff for video games as well. And I noticed that you're a video game lover. You went back home, you played your Super Nintendo, you got Crash
Yeah,
Bandicoot.
yeah.
It looks like, do you have a girlfriend or a partner or something like
My
that?
wife.
Or
My
you
wife.
have a wife yourself, and
Yeah.
and it looks like you guys are both gamers.
No,
So
only me.
only you.
Only
So she
me.
got Crash Bandicoot for you then.
Yeah.
So
It
What
spoiled
is
me.
like what is your favorite game, or are you console or PC?
No, I think I'm a retro guy. I keep playing like every day. I keep playing Super Nintendo most of the
Oh
time.
yes.
With I have the mini. I have actually the real one with some cartridge in there.
Oh
So
my
I'm
gosh.
Oh,
my favorite game ever should be Mega Man 2 for the NES.
Oh my gosh, really?
Yeah, and I played it a lot. I mean, I had that one when I was very, very young, and I keep playing. I can beat it in like 45 minutes, something like that.
Get
I'm
out of
trying to,
here.
yeah, I'm trying to speed run it at this point a little bit.
Wow, okay.
Yeah. So yeah, I keep like my favorite video game console is NES, definitely, and the
Wow.
one I play the most is probably Super NES. And then I have my Xbox, but I never play it because I have no time, and the games nowadays are very complicated because
mhm.
it's like a
Yeah.
movie, and you have to spend like a lot of time working. Like
Oh,
I tried
absolutely.
I tried Elden Ring myself, and
Mm,
it's beautiful, but I don't have the time to master that. So I
I
keep
get
working.
you.
Yeah, I have the Game Pass, and I keep playing only indie games all the time, like games I can play a little bit and then work like play a little bit and then go to bed and something like that. But yeah, I mostly play those things. Yeah, I'm an old guy, I think.
We love retro gaming right now. And what's really cool, my 13-year-old son and I were playing like Donkey Kong Country, and we're going through all the old school classics. Exactly, right? And he's loving it. He's telling his friends, like, hey, actually, the games back then were pretty awesome, and you can beat them in a couple days too.
Yes,
So
yes.
that's
Yeah,
pretty
yeah,
awesome.
Whereas I've been playing the same game for 17 years and I still haven't beat it. So.
yeah. No, back then the games were complicated. I mean,
They
even
were.
nowadays, I try to beat some of them. It's like, come on, I was a kid. How they wanted me to beat this, with 8 years. But yeah, it's not just doing that. It's a different flavor. It's just you just plug and
Mhm.
play. You play, you have your whatever. It feels different. All of them are nice. I mean, I enjoy. Like I want to play. I see your cover. I really want to play the new Zelda game.
Oh yeah,
Because
it's amazing, man.
Yes.
amazing. I just don't have the time, but I played the
I
other
hear you.
one, the one before, and it was beautiful. I didn't beat it, but it was beautiful to play. But I don't have the time, so I had to put my time on this
Yeah.
and others.
Absolutely.
I appreciate that. I didn't think I had time for the Zelda game as well, but then on one of my last interviews with Marcella, she told me she plays Zelda. So I'm like, well, if she can play Zelda, I'm going to play Zelda.
You
But
can.
yeah. Anyways, you also did something with Star Wars Revisited, and what was that about? That we're very intrigued by that. And was that just a collaboration of Star Wars songs, or?
No, Miguel is all about soundtracks, and I was back then like a huge Star Wars fan, mainly because of the soundtrack. And I said I was, so you can imagine. I'm not anymore, of course, but back then I was fan enough to put this medley together because I just love the music, and
Yeah,
we did that, and we keep playing that thing in every show and in
really?
every yeah, in every festival and everything, people love it. And at some point we had to stop, because it was like I remember this festival we played like at the beginning of the story of the band. Our first festival we played there, no one known us, so we played the songs and then we played the Star Wars theme. But that thing everyone knows, so they were so happy with the
Yeah,
cantina, beautiful. So 2 years after or 3 years after they called the band again, same festival. So we go there, and of course we don't have that song in the set list anymore because we were like
right.
sick
Moved
of that.
on.
Yeah.
Yep,
Oh yeah, whatever.
yep.
So the promoter come to me, in the festival. And I'm so happy you're here again. Oh, thank you for having us. Yes, I can't wait for you to play the Star Wars thing again. And, and I was like, no, 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 we are actually not playing it anymore. And he was like what? I
Yeah.
mean, we don't. And he was like, no, 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 you have to play it. And I like, no, no, we don't even rehearse that. And he was like, no, 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 you have to play this today. So
Wow.
we went to the camping, with the guitar, trying to remember how to play that, with the band.
Oh my
And we
gosh.
actually played, and I felt so dirty because we played all the songs, and then we have all the crowd there because we were announced like the band from Andorra with the Star Wars thing. Like it was the
That
whole thing.
was your niche for them.
So we
I
played the
see.
whole song, and then every song we were like, the next song is called. People were like, yeah, 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 this one. Oh, and then at the end, yeah, this one's called. This is a Star Wars thing, and they were nuts. And I was like, I felt like a little dirty. Like, of course, you only want me for that. Play like,
Right.
but yeah, whatever. It was fun. But yeah, we recorded because it was part of our story, and it was decent. So yeah.
That's incredible because I don't know if you know Epica at all, the band.
Who?
Epica.
Yeah, Epica. Yeah, yeah.
Epica did like a Star Wars thing for their retrospect concert, so I thought that's really cool that like more metal bands and people are into Star Wars because over in the West that's one of the biggest shows for us. So
Yeah.
I thought that's really cool, and you made a medley, and everyone got used to that medley. It's like
Yeah. For
It's
the
it's a trap
younger.
almost in a way.
Yeah. You were about to say something. Sorry.
Oh, I was gonna say the Star Wars trap, just like Kyle did.
Yeah.
But so how do you have a wife? I'm assuming you don't have kids then, or
Not yet. Not yet.
not yet?
Definitely is coming. But yeah.
Well, right on then. How do you balance your personal life with your professional life? Because you are insanely professional with your the time that you put in with your instrument, with the band, with the touring. That must be pretty difficult.
Yeah, I do it badly, probably. If you want, I can
Badly.
call my wife and she can come here and then tell you about it, like how bad
Right.
I managed to do it. I don't know. I just I'm all the time. I'm working all the time. But like musicians, we are always working all the time because we need like many different places to get the money
Mhm.
make
Yeah.
a living. We of course don't live out of the band. Band is not something that never give us any kind of money. We reinvest all the money on tours and everything.
Wow.
And then as a musician, you have to teach, you have to do all the stuff I told you, or
Mhm.
like a produce music, or you have to play with other artists, and then you
Yeah.
have to play over the weekends and at night you have to rehearse and it's tricky, but that was the life I chose when I was very young.
Yeah.
And I'm very happy. I've been living out of the instrument for like a long time, like 20 years or something like that.
Oh,
So
even more, right?
Yeah.
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 So I don't know. I don't know. It feels weird. It's difficult to manage. Sometimes you don't have much to do, and then that's a moment. But yeah, most of the time you have too much on the plate. But you just try to do it the best you can.
Well, hey, it sounds like you need some of the help for people that can support you. And I know that you guys have a Patreon account. I went and checked all that out. You guys are obviously big into mythology, so I thought your
Yeah.
tiers were really cool there because you had obviously Welcome to Olympus, you had Kor, Persephone, Hermes, Zeus, and Hades at the bottom there.
Yeah.
What type of things do you offer with these tiers, and is that the best way for people like us to support you directly?
When it comes to the band, I would say yes, because we made the Patreon website because it was impossible for us to take care of the expenses of touring. That was the whole thing.
Okay.
And people is there. We have a Discord channel
Oh,
going on. Usually
okay.
it's Bobby, the drummer, who is there all the time. And then we are able to meet all the people in there on tours. They is at the end of the day we end up being kind of friends. Uh,
Yeah.
there because we speak quite a lot, and then when we are on tour we spend a lot of time with them, and we spend the evening with them. They can go to the sound check and we to and like at some point it's not like fan and musician, it's like they know they are really helping us, even if it's with us few money. We used to put some videos to explain to them openly what's going on with the band. That's the thing we do. Like the situation is this one, so they know. And
Right.
then I don't know, some highlights. We played some video games with some of them at some point. They put some recommendations on music on the Discord, and then we talk about it.
Right.
But yeah, it's all about that. It's a tool to be able to keep the band rolling, because definitely post COVID even worse.
No
It's
kidding.
very complicated to make from with expenses of touring. So that's why we open it, and then we really appreciate each of everyone that is there helping us.
it's amazing for people like us that do want to support to have those type of options. And obviously you have a tour coming, so people can come see you guys touring. You also have more music coming, and we were curious if you had a theme in mind for your next music that's coming out, or what's the next way you're trying to push your message.
Yeah, we have it, but I won't say anything
Can't
yet.
say too much. That's
But
all.
it's there. It's there. Yeah. Because I mean, people isn't that doesn't really know it's going to happen. I mean, people on tour on the Patreon, they know when they
Right.
talk with, like you talk with me, I tell you it's going to happen, but it's not. It's definitely not announced anywhere, and then
Of
people is
course.
not like. So if someone was the people that is watching the interview, they will know. But other than that, it's like nothing is announced, but it will happen. Like I think soon after we are done with the recordings, and of course we have everything. I mean, all the songs are already there. We're
Wow.
producing them. So yeah.
Well,
That's exciting.
that's super exciting. We're definitely going to go get that ticket right after. We've kind of went through most of our questions. Was there anything else part of your story wise or music wise that you wanted our audience to hear from yourself personally?
So yeah, I want to say that if someone has made it through the whole interview up to here, I want to tell those people to enjoy their life. That's the most important thing, and to be grateful for every day. As we told before, don't wait until something horrible happens to, be
Yeah.
grateful for the stuff you already have. And yeah, I wish everyone to be in peace, not even happy, but to be in peace, which I think is the ultimate goal for everyone. And I want to say thank you to both of you for taking the time and getting the babysitter and everything to make this happen. You
You're
are lovely,
welcome.
and I had a really beautiful time chatting with both of you.
Carlos, it's been a beautiful time as well. We know we had a couple hiccups with the timing there, and that could have been my fault. I could have told you it was
No,
the
no, no.
8th
It was
instead of the
my thing.
9th.
It was my thing. I mean, I for some reason yesterday I thought it was yesterday, and I
Right.
was and I had this little, heart attack. Like, I know I'm going late, but I had many alarms, but it was okay. So we made it properly. So yeah.
I understand. I woke up yesterday and I looked at Kyle and said, "What day is it?"
Was like that. I was talking with the drummer about some stuff, and at some moment I was like, "What time is it?" It was like 9 o'clock. No, 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 no. It was like trying to reach to you, and then I look at the calendar and okay, I'm okay. It's just I'm stupid. Okay.
But hey, and that made me feel more comfortable with you before coming on screen, just to see your humanity before coming
Of
on here.
course.
I could tell you were just someone I was going to gel with so much. We were going to love this conversation. And I think the pursuit of peace instead of the pursuit of happiness is one of the main things that I'm taking out of you, because I think more people should be looking for peace instead of just pure happiness. And I think that would fix a lot of the world. And I think your music is doing that. So buy your actions, buy your music. Your art is amazing. The person that you are, we'd love to meet more of the band. We're hope to see you guys in Calgary when you do come here. And without further ado, y'all, we are exiting the rabbit hole, folks.
Thank you so
Nice.
much, Carlos, for being with us. This has been a phenomenal interview.
Thank you so much.
God bless, brother.
And take care. Bye for now.
See you next time.
Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more Enter the Chronicness.
Special thanks to all of our YouTube, Patreon, and Buy Me a Coffee members. Thank you for all of your support.